Well, hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another video from Overbite Gaming. I am the majestic Snare, and this is my disembodied voice, which feels like it's getting a cold. So if I do end up coughing half the way through, I apologise. And your concern for my well-being has been noted. The badge of affiliation will be in the post. No, but seriously, today I want to talk about Warframe. It's been a little while, and more importantly, it's been about a week since the drop of the new Kuvalich system that came with the old blood. And obviously Grendel, the new Warframe that has just come out, who absorbs enemies, eats them, and turns into a fucking meatball. More on that maybe later, but first of all I want to talk about the Kuvalich system. Now this system that has come in is a bastardized version of the Nemesis system that we saw in Shadow of Mordor, where low level enemy gets killed, turns into a much higher power enemy, comes chasing after you. Now in Warframe it's a very personal enemy that's kind of designed and born out of the Warframe that killed the larvaling that you go and find to start with. It has influence over the environment and the system, and basically imposes a fucking tax on you to basically steal your rewards for missions. So not only do you have this high powered enemy that's coming after you, it steals the stuff that you would get normally, and as you for you to dispatch this Kuvalich, you have to work out how to kill it, or to give it mercy and bring it in like a stranger perk. What was that perk called in Fallout? The stranger, but it was basically like a Hail Mary kind of position. He'd come in and help you out or something. But to be honest, I mean they're nicking a lot of kind of tropes of gameplay from other games, which I don't necessarily have a problem with. What I do have a problem with is the layers and layers of grind and RNG that are in this particular system, which makes it very, very difficult for me to see the benefit of getting involved in this Kuvalich thing. I mean, the rewards that you're going to get are the kind of weapons from the Kuvalich, which are kind of just reskins and rehashes of existing Grendel weaponry. So if you have, a particular Grendel weapon, and let's be honest, not many of them are actually any good, or above other options, then what is the point of doing it? I mean, is this just a stopgap until Empyrean comes out? I fucking hope so, because at the moment I'm not feeling a lot of love for this system, and in a way it puts a bit of a bad taste in your mouth if people are just doing all of this time and investment in the game to then get something that's really not worth it. I mean, if you want to squeeze out the next mastery rank, then maybe it's worth it, but I'm just not feeling the love. I mean, a grind for me should always be something that is progressive. It should be fun and a payoff. If you go into a shop and you buy something for a 10 quid, then you want something that's worth 10 quid. You don't want something that looks like it's worth 10 quid, but actually when you get it home, it's a fucking empty box. No fucking empty box is ever worth 10 quid. Maybe it is. Maybe that's not a very well thought out analogy. But what I'm trying to say is that the system we've got in the Kuvalich system doesn't fill me with the want and the need to do it, and therefore I haven't actually tried it yet. I got into one mission where the sort of Kuva captain, I think it is, says there's a larvaling in this mission, but it didn't turn up for the time I spent in the mission, and so I didn't go on to the next stage. I just feel like it's grinding for grinding's sake, and that's not a good thing for a game like this. Warframe is about collecting stuff, it's about resources, it's about collecting the parts you need to build the weapons, and when you have a couple of layers of grinding or a couple of layers of RNG, okay, it gets more and more irritating the more layers there are, and in this one it seems there's RNG and layering of grind in every step. Now people don't like that because you don't get any sort of progression. You spend all that time for very, very little. I mean, I remember in the Destiny 1 days with kind of, what was it called, the Nightmare kind of versions of, oh god, what were they called? But it was the no respawn, complete, insta death kind of situations, and those were absolutely annoying for anyone that wasn't a top tier player of Destiny. I just find that DE might be going the same way. I mean, it's not like you can buy the Kuvalich stuff, and not that I've noticed, and if you can, that would be a complete an utter fucking obvious move of, okay, well, you can't get what all these other people are getting, you know, go and buy it. But I have to say that's what it seems like it was with the new Warframe Grendel as well. It's quite embarrassing. I mean, I looked up on the acquisition of Grendel, and there's again layers and layers of RNG and grinding just to get the chance to get the parts for Grendel. Do you know what? I haven't felt like this with Warframe for a long time, but I think they've dropped a bollock. I really do. Now they've responded recently with kind of saying, okay, well, the recent changes they brought in the last couple of days were to fix a couple of bugs through a hotfix, and one of the bugs was basically allowing people to sort of help each other with coup glitches, you know, so that more than one could spawn in the mission, I believe, and stuff like that. So people were playing together to beat these particular coup glitches, and they fixed it so that didn't happen anymore. So there was no incentive to help somebody with their coup glitch, and it became like the absolute opposite of what you would want in a game, where it's all about cooperation in those particular missions, working together with randoms. So I'm just a bit annoyed, but I'm less annoyed and more disappointed, and that was always worse when your mum said that, wasn't it? I'm not angry with you, Snare. I'm just disappointed. That was always the worst thing to hear. So I'm kind of feeling that DE's in that spot. They need to do a lot of rethinking of what they're doing here, and to get the kind of the love back, certainly for me. I mean, I'm still going to be playing the game, but I'm not going to be going out my way to do the coup glitch stuff until I work out if I can even be bothered to, as mainly a solo player with randoms. It's not going to be very good for me if I can't actually do what I need to do, because randoms won't help me, and if I need them to help me. So there's a lot to be thinking about there. But I don't know what you guys think. Let me know down in the comments of, you know, what you think about the coup glitch system. Do you think it's been rolled out the right way? Do you think it's do you think you still have problems and you don't like the way it's been kind of treated or presented to you, etc.? I'd love to hear what you have to think. I always say that. I'd love to hear what you have to say about the whole system, because I'm in that space right now where I'm kind of annoyed, and I'm just seeing it for maybe what it is, but maybe I'm just suddenly just getting a bit annoyed at DE for not giving me Empyrean quick enough, which could well be the fact. Now, I hope that this isn't a precursor to how the Railjack Empyrean update is going to be, because I've been just hyped up for that for so long, and if this is kind of a sign of how things are going to be, it's not going to be good. It's not going to be fun, because I can think of, you know, okay, coup glitch, and here's all this fucking grind. Okay, here's having a big spaceship. Now, if you want any of the things you need on that spaceship, guess what you're going to have to do? You're going to have to grind like a bitch to get what you need to make that particular ship anywhere decent. And I'm just... is it going to be worth it? That's the question. Is it going to be something that we can live with? Is it something you can carry on working with and not run out of content so quickly? You know, because just having things to be done over a long period of time does not make it a good idea, and it doesn't solve the problem of having, you know, and I'm holding up my quotation mark fingers, no content. You know, it's a thing that we really have to be careful of. So just bear that in mind. I mean, that's my general ranty thoughts about this update. I hope they do some things to make it more appealing to players, and I hope they listen to getting the balance between what people want and what people need to maintain the fun and enjoyment and engagement with the game. So this isn't a massive diss on DE, but I think, I'm being honest, I think you dropped a bollock and you need to pick it back up and shove it in your scrotum again, okay? And if that's not an image you want from a gaming video, I don't know what the fuck is. I would just like to know what you think about the whole situation. But don't forget, we have videos out every Wednesday and Saturday, and if you do like what you've heard here today, then like the video, subscribe, and you know, just leave us a comment. It'd be great. And take care of yourselves, because it's a harsh word out there. It's a harsh world. So yeah, take care of yourselves. Okay, love you. Bye bye.